This episode is sponsored by Aquanow, the premier crypto as services provider, and sponsored by XDC Network, a layer 1 EVM compatible blockchain, revolutionizing the digital space.
On this episode of FUMO, we're delighted to have with us a special guest and old friend, Ajit Tripathi, aka Chain Yoda, for those of you who are pathologically online like we are. We'll be discussing how Ajit got into the world of crypto and blockchain, from starting out in Goldman Sachs and PwC all the way to the decentralized frontier. We'll be talking about the Bitcoin cycle, current focus on AI, meme coins, and how the outlook for 2025 was fundamentally reshaped by the recent US elections. Ajit.
It's great to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. Ajit, you on your screen name, your Twitter name as well.
Chain Yoda.
Chain Yoda.
That's
So
cool.
if you don't know who Chain Yoda is, what do you call yourself these days? A crypto KOL?
Yeah, I'm an influencer apparently.
You're an influencer.
You don't even know it.
I mean,
it just happened to me.
I always like hanging out with influencers.
Dubai has a lot of very attractive influencers. I'm now
And
one
you're
of them.
clearly one of them. Yeah.
I wouldn't put myself in the attractive influencer category.
So today we're going to dive into crypto. What is crypto? This bastard child of Wall Street meets Silicon Valley.
That's one way to look at it. I don't disagree with that description. But I think, ever since Netscape, people have been trying to put money on the internet
Yeah.
in a way that does not go through the entire banking system and the geopolitics of compliance and all of those things. And finally, after decades of cryptographic research and experimentation, Satoshi, whoever they were or that person was, managed to solve it with Bitcoin. And then it's just been an evolution of that technology. And it has many dimensions, right? It's a fascinating field. We can talk for hours about it.
And we probably will. We're going to
will.
get into what is crypto, the outlook for 2025, AI and crypto, right? Gaurav, meme coins, is everything a meme coin? And obviously a little bit about you.
I can't wait. I'm listening. I got to figure this all out.
What do you want to learn about crypto today?
What's next? I
What's
think we've
next?
seen what's happened.
Yeah.
I think what's next? I think we got a president coming into the United States that's very pro.
Yes.
You're seeing regulation moving at a global tandem level now, with the US leading the way in changing its position. And I think you're getting trillion-dollar asset mass managers embracing this space. My God,
Yeah.
how things have changed in the last 3, 5, 7 years. It's
10 years.
wow. I
In
mean,
my case.
wow. Yeah, it's just an unbelievable thing.
When I was at PwC, I used to do these presentations about explaining blockchain tech. And
When was that?
that was 2014, 15.
Right. So you were armed with the PowerPoint presentation, a nice PwC suit. Yeah.
No less than 75 slides at a time.
Wow.
Excellent. And there was no chat GPT to do it for you.
No, I was the
No,
ChatGPT.
you were the chat
That's right.
GPT.
I was the AI agent.
Yeah. Well, you know what AI stands for, right?
Yeah.
Assistant from India. That's
Another
right.
Indian. So yeah. So talk us through the outlook for 2025. Obviously, Gaurav just touched upon this huge political event and
Yeah,
market
it's-
event we've had in crypto in the last 3 months. But what
mean,
does it look like for you,
It's
2025?
never been this good for the industry. Finally, we have a supporter in the White House, President Trump.
Yeah.
As I joke that we finally have an influencer or KOL who is a president, and so it's really never been that good. And crypto's libertarian ideology kind of aligns to some extent with the small government philosophy of the Republicans. And President Trump is definitely a believer in small government. He's brought in Elon Musk and Vivek to do Doge, which is Department of Government Efficiency. So crypto is about disintermediating. There is an idealistic side to crypto, and there is obviously the casino and the painful wild west side to crypto, but they both go together. In its roots, crypto is a philosophy of freedom, of individual empowerment. So the technology looks to put money, which is a source of power, back in the hands of the individual. So and I think finally we have a government in the U.S., which is the biggest economy and also the the source of internet law.
And the source of money law.
Yeah, exactly. It's the biggest economy, right? So capital, talent, technology, everything. So I think it's never really been this good, coming from 2015 when PwC partners used to ask me why I'm talking about this technology for drug dealers.
Yeah.
It was a technology for drug dealers with Silk Road and all that.
But all new technologies. All new technologies
on the
are
fringe of the society, right? I mean,
Yes.
and now we are here, and now it's really mainstream. But I think it goes two ways from here.
Yeah.
One is we're going to see more regulation.
Yeah.
We desperately need more regulation because it's a little bit too much of a Western movie out there. I think we're going to see a lot more capital come in. But we are also in the last 4 months of the 4-year Bitcoin cycle, right? And now we are also seeing the integration of markets. So it's just one market. Earlier there used to be a stock market, and that was one set of people. And then there used to be the crypto market, which was a whole other set of people, the fringes.
Yeah.
Now it's just one market because BlackRock is in it.
Sure.
VanEck is in it. All the Bitwise is in it. So it's just one market.
Yeah. Correlation is very
which
high.
means the correlation has increased dramatically. So crypto has become this, Bitcoin is like a large cap stock. It's like NVIDIA. Ethereum is like a mid to large cap stock.
Yeah.
And then everything else is what we call shitcoins. Or altcoins, and are essentially micro to nano cap, which means that's how they trade.
Right. And let's sort of zoom back to that 10 years ago when you were at PwC. And how did you get into blockchain? What kind of pulled you into crypto from having been inside the belly of many banks, many big banks globally? You've worked in I don't know how many countries around the world and major financial centers around the world for these institutions. How did you go from that background to?
So I'm mildly autistic, and I grew up poor, so I had to behave.
Right.
So I had to wear a suit and get real jobs and stuff, and crypto freed me from all that.
It freed you from poverty or wearing suits?
From real jobs.
Real jobs.
So
right.
Getting an MBA at IMD and getting a job at PwC, and Goldman Sachs and Barcap, and wearing a suit every day, behaving, getting performance reviews, all that bullshit. So PwC. I landed at PwC because I wanted to learn to sell. I came from software development and engineering, and I really wanted to learn to sell because as an old man, you can't really compete with, young boys coming out of computer science, and you're just sharper and better, right?
Right.
So
that was your kind of villain arc from going from
unfortunately
being a
PwC,
software engineer to being a shiller.
No. There was sales in between.
Sales in between.
Between the developer and the influencer.
Right.
You gotta hone your craft.
Can we be respectful and say
absolutely
influencer? Like
influencer. Key opinion leader. Yeah.
Right? So,
not a shiller.
So PwC and PwC was really boring. They do some of the worst jobs in the world. Like you grind through spreadsheets full of numbers that are mostly made up, and then you're cleaning up this data from Deutsche Bank, which is mostly it's the kind of trash you've never seen. Right?
What do you mean?
It's just
shout out to all our friends at PwC, particularly the ones in Dubai. We do love you. We do love you. And to Deutsche Bank.
That don't mean anything to anybody. Right? So I came from software development, having done some really interesting things, and this seemed like the only tech thing going around apart from fintech. But fintech was very hot, and all the partners wanted a piece of that action. So there was no space for some director guy to come in and find their space because there was revenue in it.
This is 2014, particularly in London. London is the home of fintech at the time.
So my boss said, you're a tech guy. Why don't you look at blockchain?
Okay.
Right, I'll look at blockchain. So
and
it
did
wasn't
you
because
have,
I read Satoshi's paper.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't like you were locked in your bedroom reading Satoshi's paper, missing dinner.
Yeah, so
the famous kind of Brian Armstrong story.
As an influencer is that I don't bullshit, or maybe I do, but I don't know it. So it wasn't because I was inspired by Satoshi's paper and I wanted to free people from, banks or any of that bullshit. I just thought the tech was fascinating. And my boss said, "Why don't you look at it?" And I just really enjoyed the Princeton course on blockchain and really got to know the tech at the depth, and then just started talking to everyone about it. And suddenly they were like CEOs and C-suite of banks that wanted to talk to me, and that got partners excited. That was like, oh shit, they don't want to talk to us, they want to talk to him. What's going on over there? So that's how I started.
That's how you got into the journey. And when you look at the technology side, coming as a engineer, a software guy in the by background, what was it about the technology that attracted you? Is it the technology? Is it the political philosophy? Is it like it's just the culture around Bitcoin and crypto? What's
for me? It's always been about tech. Right. I'm a tech guy. I'm not religious. I'm quite happy with capitalism, especially venture capital and the American.
So you didn't wake up one day and said, "I want to pull down the dollar. I want to get rid of America and governments."
I'm a Goldman Sachs guy. I love Goldman Sachs. I think it's a fantastic culture. I think capitalism, the way Americans have practiced it, in spite of being imperfect, is the best way to improve human condition. And we've seen that in China, right? So I was not into any of that stuff. That came much later, right? And I do believe in efficiency, so as in, can we run faster highways? Can we, remove some of this, the kind of data cleansing I used to do for banks at PwC? Let's just clean that up, right? So I'm a tech guy. I just believe in making things faster, cheaper, more efficient. And that's what excited me about this tech.
So you genuinely believe that technology, so blockchain as a technology, is more efficient or faster, or what is the underlying value the technology gives us before we get onto more political aspects such as decentralization or freedom?
I've read your book, right? Future of Money. It's a fantastic
Thank you for the
book.
plug. Thank you for the plug. You're gonna get invited back to this podcast.
Absolutely.
10 points right there.
You know when to do the product.
That's right. I didn't become an influencer just like that.
Oh my God, here we go.
Thank you.
Always be shilling.
Always be shilling.
Always be shilling.
We're all selling.
You should do your own token for that book.
I'm hoping you're going to launch it and give me some of the supply.
I'll send you the CA.
Excellent.
So
that was just a joke, by the way.
You heard it here first, though.
I mean, there is 400 years of the entire massive regulation that has created a system of credit and money that works, right? But at the same time, we know that it can work better. I'm a huge believer in the power of technology, whether it's machine learning, we call it AI, obviously, or crypto, to really make things faster, cheaper, and better, right, for everybody. And when you do that, when you increase economic productivity and efficiency, it gives a chance for more people to come out of poverty. I come from rural India. My dad was a high school teacher, and we did all right. But then I've seen the difference that technology can make to my own life and the life of my children.
Right.
And to me, technology is the motivator. I'm a big EAC, believer. I think we should accelerate tech as much as possible. And to me, that's what makes, now with blockchain, we can finally move money on the internet without any of that, without hiring 300 compliance people or
300. You need more.
Conservative.
That's right. 30,000 at Citigroup or something. So.
We got to edit that bit out.
Right. So
300.
So the fact that the way money moves is so expensive that banks cannot serve a large part of the population. Right. I mean, India is trying to do it differently with UPI.
Sure.
But it's just better tech, right? Nilekani has done a phenomenal job with Aadhaar and stuff. So this is one of the technologies, right, that can make things better because it disintermediates a lot of that back office. That's what excites me.
There's so much in concept that's now coming to light today. That's why we're having these conversations more frequently. But
so what do you think, Gaurav, about this technology from your perspective? Do you think this is a good thing?
I've been looking at it since 2015 or 16 when it first came to me with somebody that was leading the UAE, Dubai started as the Global Blockchain Council out of the Prime Minister's office in Dubai in Emirates Towers. And when that first concept happened, we were very lucky to be a part of a conversation that was trying to educate people on concepps.
Yeah, IBM and Consensus started a big project here. And Dubai has always been, so far-sighted.
Trying to be really center stage of this, right?
Why do you think that is, guys? Why is...
Dubai has always been...
It's been like almost a decade now.
Because it's worked for us.
They've always been embracing of concepts and technology that allow people to do two things. One is explore new frontiers of technology and social interactions, but also economically benefiting themselves and the wider ecosystem.
We don't have oil, right? So we don't have the luxury of just selling oil to the West.
There you go.
We have to innovate. We have to move things.
And the way blockchain and Web3 is coming to this space now, you can now export. It's things we've touched upon. You can actually export technology for the first time because as an importer of talent and FDI,
and
now we can export.
And a center of trade.
Now we can export, right? It's the first time.
When you have trade, you learn.
But what's so interesting, right, is like we talked about, I've been looking at this since 2015, 2016. And the concept of what we thought blockchain was going to do versus what blockchain is actually doing today versus people that have dug their heels in to stop it from trying to grow so that they could keep the fat or
there have been people with good reasons and bad reasons.
People want to be conduits to charge effectively on rails, right? And that is dissipating. So the people who are reliant on being the conduits are now becoming the adopters as well because they've seen for the first time there's a global digital movement that they can't push back on. It's the first time it's ever happened.
They tried, it didn't work.
Right.
So let's join the bandwagon.
It is the internet of money. It is the internet of money for the first. The internet from an information highway was in its first essence. People tried to regulate it, and then they found you can't regulate the transfer of information over data networks as much as they wanted to police it, even.
Yeah.
And the same thing is happening here. But what's interesting is the concepts of adoption. I remember the first thing we talked about blockchain in this ecosystem was we were going to save up to 2 million or 200 million liters of water from paperless adoption in the government technology sector because everything was going to be moved on to a blockchain ecosystem that allowed for people to access one true source of information rather than going through different government agencies to repeatedly access print within their own ecosystem and external departments that needed those documents for KYC, knowledge information. And that was going to be the first adoptions of blockchain.
Yeah.
No one's talking about that now. Everyone's talking about everything else.
Well, the tech wasn't ready.
Correct.
The government wasn't ready. The department.
Absolutely, but that's exactly it.
Yeah, but
the concepts were trying to be embraced. But
that's exactly right. Yeah. The arc of tech is messy. It grows through lots of experimentation, accidents, failures. Right. And what I like about Dubai is that people are ready for those failures, right? It's one of the very few cultures where you can actually experiment and fail and
And talking about AI,
you think so? Experiment and fail. You feel this. You've been in Dubai now. How many years? 3 years.
3 years
and you can really,
I mean, I can talk about what the ups and downs have been in another time. What I'd really love to get from you, brother, is on this concept where we've talked about what concepts are being adopted. Can you elaborate a little bit more now that we're at a more mature point, going back from 2015 to 16 now? What is happening now?
So it's still a very young technology, right? So AI has been around since maybe Alan Turing in the 30s, 40s, and then 50s. And crypto has been around only 15 years in its current incarnation since Bitcoin.
0809,
So the tech is actually very, very early. And some of the things that I and my colleagues were trying to accomplish between 2015 and 2019 in enterprise, or what we call now no coiner blockchain, right? No crypto, just digital signatures and corporate proof of authority consensus.
Most traceability,
permissioned enterprise
those
blockchain
didn't really work right at the time. So what we have seen is that the private permission blockchains haven't worked so far, at least. And then the public permission.
Why haven't they worked?
Because there are technologies that achieve what people are trying to achieve without. So blockchains aren't very scalable, right? So that's one of them. One of the reasons. Secondly, it takes a long time to change existing enterprises. There's a lot of innovators' dilemma. There is resistance to change.
Sure.
There is someone's job at stake when you improve an operational process.
Many people's job.
That's why we have consulting. So if you look at AI, right, Accenture made a lot of money from AI last year. One of the most profitable participants in the
all the consultants did.
Exactly.
All the consultants did.
And AI was supposed to disrupt consulting.
Eventually.
But that's not what's going on.
Eventually.
What's going on is that eventually.
Irony.
Because in all these in any technology, whether it's AI or crypto, you need the software guys, the technologists, and you need the shillers.
Create new jobs, and you need absolutely somebody to whisper the magic words in the ear of the CEO, so he has the license to spend $1 billion, that sort of thing. We're not going to go into that, but
so private blockchains didn't work. Private
private
permission,
blockchains didn't work.
and now public
But
blockchains.
public blockchains, so here is the reason. Private permission blockchains didn't work because we were asking for permission. When I was working on a project with NASDAQ, and the SEC, they had a 100-page or 200-page memo that I went through, explaining how they were going to go through and get all the approvals from the SEC to change market infrastructure the way they needed to change for NASDAQ Link. And unfortunately, that permission wasn't going to come, right? Because you can't really explain technology to lawyers and bureaucrats. It's not what they do, right? You can try, but what they understand is money, right? So what happened is
rules. They understand.
they understand money. Let me just we'll argue about that.
We can argue about that. We can argue about that later.
Once you show the lawyers the money,
Things move.
things move.
Yeah.
So crypto showed the lawyers the money. So
Right.
The market kept growing through crashes and booms, and
So
the
we
money,
have to adopt and adapt.
What are you going to do? I mean, what's Larry Fink going to do? Right? Is he going to let go of $1 trillion asset class,
Conduit.
which might go to 10 trillion? What are his clients going to say?
Yeah,
What
conduit.
did you do, bro?
Conduit.
Right? And then lawyers. I mean, what are lawyers going to do? Are they going to go work with Coinbase in the lobbying circuit in DC, or are they going to say no? We want to stick to existing rules. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Technology changes society by creating economic value, right? By showing people the, forgive me, fucking money. So that's what happened.
So
Crypto,
show me the effing
that's
money.
right. Crypto had so much demand.
Yeah.
It found some applications in DeFi, and then people got up and took notice, right? When I was at Aave, I went from enterprise blockchain to crypto. And then when I was at Aave and we had a $700 token, I was getting CVs from bank MDs all day. Hey, this is the future. You guys are the next JP Morgan.
What
No,
happened?
hold on, baby.
What happened to those CVs?
The CVs disappeared as soon as the price crashed.
As soon as the price
it's
crashed.
like those banks that start crypto projects
Yeah.
at the top. And that's when you should start selling.
It's when the bank MD CVs come in.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's when, and that's when you should start selling, right? When your relatives and bank MDs, like the MBAs, when the MBAs come in, Peter Thiel says, right? And I'm an MBA.
Yeah.
Once the MBAs come in, start selling.
Start selling, yeah. Actually, my version of that in Dubai is when my personal trainer asks me for a crypto advisor. It's a man.
Okay, I'm so
Calm
sorry.
down. Yeah. Whenever he asks about in any kind of investment, I always know there's a great kind of cycle where we go from me getting asked about either crypto or something more high risk to going to dividend stocks, and
I don't know. I think
Value stocks?
I think I would counter that. I would say that I think things have changed now.
Really?
I would say the old saying
anymore?
in New York used to be when the taxi driver
the
in New York, the
That's
Catman,
Sunshine Boy.
it's changed
100%
now.
MBAs.
MBAs.
Count on it because MBAs only want to go where things are already working.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And
Of
that's
course.
when it's too late.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, they can get hired at that
People
point.
said
right?
it was
Exactly.
too late when
That's
I was
when
sitting
you
in the
have boomer
Cotswolds.
jobs.
I'll never forget
Yeah.
sitting in the Cotswolds, my sister's 40th birthday,
Right.
and went down for breakfast, and there were two elderly people, probably in their 60s, with their children and their children's children, like three generations sitting at a table. And they said, and I'll never forget this because it's stuck in my head, should we buy Bitcoin crypto for Christmas for all our kids as an investment at $2,500? And I said to myself, if they're talking about this,
It's too late.
it's too late.
Yeah.
At $2,500 or $2,700.
It was too late, but
That
Yeah.
was 7 years ago. Yeah, Bitcoin. So 7 years ago. My God. Yeah, 7 years ago in August, it was at $2,500
You
or
sold it.
$3,000.
Yeah.
There you go. So
It's
I
hard
think.
being middle class.
So I think it's not right anymore.
Hard being
I think the way that we've got GameStop and everything going now, it could be the inverse now. The more people that are buying,
Right.
I don't know. I'm challenging
So that's
that.
not
Sorry,
a-
guys.
It's a bit
I'm
toppy
sorry.
and we're at the
I'm
4 year
sorry.
cycle.
No.
Yeah.
It's if you're a bear in crypto, you
So
get shot.
unpack that
Right.
bit. You've mentioned that a couple of times now. The 4 year cycle, Bitcoin cycle. Explain to the audience.
It's very
Some of our
interesting.
audience are obviously deep in the weeds of crypto. Some are not. So explain that.
Yeah, so there is a lot of like astrology and mythology to Bitcoin price charts, right? And all of
Like
crypto,
all charts. All
like
charts are
that's right, like technical
astrology.
analysis
Yeah, it's
type of
all.
stuff, right? And but it's like business cycles and market cycles and that sort of thing. Historically, in the last 12 years, Bitcoin peaks every bottoms and peaks of 4-year cycle, and it
what's
goes through something known as the parabolic rainbow chart.
Okay.
So it's very volatile.
Okay.
But it follows the rainbow chart, and that rainbow chart is eerie, right? You can actually see that it's kind of stuck to that thing.
And what's the justification for that, or the?
It's a bit like a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? I don't think there is really a macro reason, because Bitcoin did not cause COVID. Bitcoin did not cause the huge money printer, right? I mean, the basis for buying Bitcoin is that the Feds can't get, the central banks can't get their shit together because everyone is living on debt, right? And so I buy that. I think that's just prescient, that because we are fueling our lifestyles and growth economics with debt, so there will always be monetary expansion, which means there's going to be demand for an asset, which has certain guarantees, social guarantees or cryptographic guarantees of not having excess supply, right? It's scarcity. So there is some logic to that, and I think I can get behind that, but for some reason, in the last 12 years, Bitcoin has peaked every 4 years, and then it's crashed like 60-70% in the 5th year. And now there is another joke, right, on Wall Street. It's called "Sell in May, go away."
Sure.
And it's eerie. I mean, it happens every year for whatever reason. So there are some of these seasonality
So we've got
factors.
4 months to go.
Bitcoin has a 4-year seasonality. So there are a number of people who are concerned that we might be topping. But then there are other people who are saying, look, this is the first time we have had TradFi money come in. We just opened a multi-trillion-dollar market to Bitcoin. My view is a bit more constrained. I think it's everything from here depends on what happens to the US stock market, right? So it's just one market now. We're not in a separate crypto market. When stocks drop 20%, Bitcoin drops 30%. And as the joke goes, altcoins come with Sudoku or, seppuku.
Seppuku versus Sudoku. Yeah. That's a t-shirt.
So memes. So in June, you might see me behave very professionally because I can't afford to be eccentric. Right.
Should we ask for meme coin advice?
We can get into memes.
We can get into meme coin.
What's your involvement in meme coins, Gaurav?
Nothing yet. No? I mean, I'm exactly right.
Opportunity to get both either very rich or very poor.
That's why I'm asking for the advice. That's why I'm doing it, because it's a gamble. Yeah. And from all the tech investments I've been doing and looking at the way the things are and the way conversations happen today, and people gamble with money.
Yeah.
I'm happy to do it as well, for a meme coin. I actually put money in and forget about it. I mean, I'm not going to be diamond hands and hold all the time. I'm ready to get out when somebody, fires a signal flare into the air and says, time to move. I'm happy to go. But, other stuff which is stable, I think I'm going to be long-term on all the other crypto I have on my portfolio. I mean, I'm in a crypto hedge fund so that I don't have to watch it every day because I don't have the time to sit in the space. I'm trying to shed the suit and get into the jeans and t-shirts so that I can spend more time in the space, because I genuinely believe it is the frontier ecosystem that's going to become normalized. And there's still a lot of work to do there in that space. Could be capital benefits for me.
So what's really going on is there is no separate thing called crypto, right? If you... so the people who really seem to understand this are the A16Z guys, like Mark Andreessen, Chris Dixon, and
understand what
crypto,
right?
So and there is a reason for it, because I think very few people have gone that deep into understanding the internet.
Okay,
right. So and crypto is just one part of what's going on the internet, right? Memes or meme coins are just one element of what's going on. So I have a 14-year-old son, and 15 now, and he learned to produce music from Discord. So there's no teacher. No, college, school, education, none of that going on there. He just goes to Discord, finds a bunch of friends, and learns to produce music because that's his interest, right? Then he finds TikTok.
It's quite scary about this Discord, because we discovered the other day our 10-year-old was on Discord.
That's a good thing.
But why is that a bad thing?
Why is that a bad thing?
It's good that you know about it, and it's good that he's active.
Well, we found out about it.
It's good that you're monitoring.
That's a good thing.
But Discord is a really good thing. It's another learning
Discord
tool.
is the frontier of the internet.
Yeah.
So
and conversations.
we used to have IRC chats. That's how old I am. Even though I forget
ICQ, IRC,
ICQ, IRC. You forget the hair dye, right? I mean, I've even had the H-term chats and whatnot. So,
I'm not far from you, brother. We're both in the same boat.
We are
There
all
you go.
kind of boomers, right?
Yes.
But I pretend very well.
You're,
So anyways, so what's going on is, gamers have always pushed the internet forward.
Yeah.
And it's all been happening on Discord, which is the new IRC, relay chat thing,
Reddit tech.
Yahoo chat and whatnot. So kids are just learning from each other. That's the frontier.
Yeah.
That's the frontier of internet culture.
Yeah.
That's the frontier of internet money. That's the frontier of technology and everything else, education and everything. And it's just going to change everything. You can't stop it.
And going back to A16Z and double clicking on why you think their understanding of crypto is in a different space to many other people.
Mark created Netscape.
Yeah.
So, they have built a whole firm entirely focused on, they've made misses, right? So they've had misses.
Everyone does,
like AI, they were doing Web3 when AI was booming, but they caught up.
Yeah.
But they it's their DNA. I mean, the Mark
Internet's in their blood.
Netscape,
They were there.
Cloud, all those things.
You could also be guilty of being too early, right?
There's no such thing as long as you have cash in the bank, right?
Right.
As long as you don't go bust.
I mean, I'll tell you. I
You
remember,
won't be too early. So now I've been in VC for the last 3 years as an angel, and I do fundraising. So no, you want to be too early. You want to be when everyone
I'll put it
else
into
hates on
context,
you.
right? Because I remember I started dabbling in angel investing and all of this 9-10 years ago.
Yeah.
And I remember meeting somebody from NEA, and they told me that they had funded a portfolio company where the founder had exited. And he had got his cash. He was sitting pretty. He had a lot of money, triple-digit millions, in the sense of.
Yeah.
And he was doing nothing. And the story goes that, 10, 11 years ago, NEA gave him a $2 million check for whatever startup he was going to do next.
Yeah.
Because they knew whatever he does, he's so intelligent. And apparently what he had created at that time was using cameras to do algorithmic tracking of optimum times for farm fishing in tanks.
Okay.
So apparently a massive issue in farm fishing is contamination, temperatures, everything. And he had built data points that you could get from having 6 to 10 cameras on a tank that would give you 40 to 80% optimization benefits health on just tracking that data as what AI is.
That's the thing about tech, right? It's the power to solve small problems, but at scale.
Right.
So where the money is made is on scale.
Unbelievable.
Right? And there's nothing bigger than the internet.
Unbelievable. So, gents, 2025, we've been talking about the technologies being embraced, concepts. I have a prediction I'd like to make for 2025. Might be a bit much, but I think.
Nothing shocks me. I'm on Twitter all day.
Okay, so I think in 2025,
And all night.
Warren Buffett is going to do a U-turn on crypto.
Is he dying?
This is my prediction to 2025. Warren Buffett does a U-turn on crypto, and I think Berkshire Hathaway does its first investment.
I'll take it. I mean,
this is my take on it. I think
I don't think he's going to do that.
I think it's going to happen in 2025.
He's a cash flow kind of guy.
Yeah.
I don't see it.
That's where,
So he's always been the value investing cash flow guy.
Is there any cash flow in crypto?
So there are DeFi protocols that generate cash flow, right? Aave and Uniswap generate cash flow. Pump.fun generates cash flow. Uniswap generates cash flow. The Radium generates cash. There are the Jito generates cash flow. So there is always, disintermediation also comes with its own intermediaries, and they get a cut of the fees. So
sure. I mean, there's huge cash flow in stable coins and centralized exchanges.
But there's a 24/7 global digital casino aspect to crypto, right? And that's both good and bad because people are just trading culture, memes, whatever is hot. You can even news like Doge, Peanut, the squirrel that changed the American election was a $1.5 billion coin. Fart coin is a $1.4 billion coin now. So it's all like culture. It's about internet
memes,
culture. I think it's hard for an institution to get involved in that without institutional infrastructure. So now that the banks have come in, BlackRock has come in, we're going to see some of that infrastructure get created. That's my prediction. We'll see stablecoin regulation this year.
Oh, very interesting. Coming out of the US?
Coming out of the US. That's the
They're
only
the
country
bastion of
where
it,
there
yeah.
seems to be any law anyway. So,
Or
in this
UAE,
space, yeah.
or UAE.
Or UAE, that's correct.
Or
US, UAE, and then everybody has their own look and flavor to it.
Yeah.
But US is the market that everyone looks at for rules
Yeah.
because that's the biggest market.
Should we start a Warren Buffett adopts crypto meme coin and see where it goes?
Buffett, the CA is Buffett.
Yeah, there we go.
The ticker is Buffett, and then yeah.
Let's do it.
That'd be amazing. Please, I'll show you how to do it on pump.fun.
I'm on it now.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
And so this whole meme coin thing, to sort of wrap it up, and is AI
Oh,
and
we come to the best topic at the end.
Right. AI and crypto, is this just a
Monster.
massive meme? Or is it
95% meme, but
Yeah.
the 5% is the fun part, right?
Tell me about the
Where-
5%. What,
Yeah, so see, there is a thesis.
why do we need crypto and AI?
Because AI is extremely centralized, right? So
And?
there are only 4 companies that can control the data models, everything else, and no one has visibility of what they actually do. So, for example,
But that's the same with cloud computing, our phones.
There is a difference.
What's the
because
difference?
AI will make decisions for you. It'll be doing actions. It'll be your assistant. It'll
Yeah.
move your bank account, money from your bank account. It'll make your life choices maybe. So, and it will influence politics. We saw this with Cambridge Analytica, Brexit, and the Arab Spring.
Which
So
is-
you don't
yeah.
want the Facebook and OpenAI to be making political decisions for the people of Jordan. Right, so they will have their own Jordanians have the right to choose their own interpretations of history. When I asked ChatGPT what really happened, then it shouldn't be the Republican Bible Belt American interpretation that I get to see. It should
Oh,
be
the
what
Silicon
the
Valley.
Jordanians think, they should have their own right to interpretation
Yeah.
of history. So that's why it's so important that AI is not completely centralized in a few
But
hands.
that's the philosophical argument, which I think we'd all intuitively agree with, right?
Yeah.
The kind of decentralization. I want my own history. But in practice, look at the world outside China. We all use products, search.
Yeah.
We're all using, 1.5, 2 search engines.
Yeah.
Phones,
Yeah.
2.5 phone.
Yeah.
There's always a tail,
but then the Europeans have their laws and
They have their
tariffs and
laws.
barriers.
They have their laws,
and they
but-
force Apple to move from those stupid lightning cables to
USB-C, which is
cables,
actually
and the
not a-
Chinese have their rules.
which
They
is not a
have
bad
blockers
thing.
on the
Yeah,
internet.
yeah.
Indians have stringent rules, and they call up Twitter when somebody posts something nasty against the government.
Yeah.
So and we saw. So it's not that simple, right? I think
No.
countries are not going away, and people have the right to govern themselves as they please.
Right.
So that's why we need to make sure that people also have the right to choose their AI.
Right. So that's the 5% of the AI crypto.
Yeah, so
wallets.
cryptography and crypto is just an extension of cryptography, right,
Yep.
on the internet. So enables the mechanisms that essentially, and it's all experimentation, right? We're a 15-year-old technology, so cut us some slack. I shouldn't say slack. I hate Slack. But,
Now that's corporate as well.
Yeah, there we go.
I hate Slack. But anyway, a lot of crypto companies use it. So and that's when you should start selling.
That and their Anything
Right,
else?
so,
Any other sales?
I love
signals?
this. Advice is brilliant.
There are lots of signals when they hire a chief legal officer or a head of HR. And
I think this is the appropriate line to say.
Is that when
FUMO
you
does
left
not give
office?
HR
any
is
future
when a
investing
startup
advice?
ends. HR is when a startup ends and a company begins, right? But
Do we have
anyways,
that? Do we have that little card there?
Yeah,
this is not investment advice.
The goal of crypto in AI is to, first of all, for AI to be used in crypto, right? Because blockchains are fantastic for automated software to use, as opposed to, none of the UX issues of as a human come in there.
Yeah.
And then AI agents are real, right? AI agents, Google is creating AI agents every day. A lot of the tasks the mind-numbing tasks you do, like cleaning data for Deutsche Bank, will be done by AI. So, right, and they should be done by AI. Why do you want a human to suffer? Right? So that's real.
Yeah.
But I think with cryptography, hopefully we can create what Shriram, the founder of Eigenlayer, calls credible commitments, as in what actually happened, right? How do we know who did what? How do we know what their incentives were, right? So that we can decide if we want to use what they are selling to us, right? And then also compute. If you don't own your compute, you don't own your data, then Sam Altman owns your AI, right? Or President Biden owns your AI. Now that's okay for some people. That's not okay for China. That's not okay for Saudi Arabia. So, or for India. So, right, I think that's where you want local compute. You want local, and the end game with crypto is what Ilya, the founder of Near, calls user-owned AI, right? Models owned by you, running on your data, on your device. Right, your phones are powerful now, and then without sharing all of your data, sending all of your secrets to Sam Altman, so that he doesn't send you, diapers before you have a baby or something like that. So that sort of thing.
Wow, I think we could keep going.
We could
and we have to do a second part at some point.
Absolutely. When I guess in May, right?
I think so.
Sell in May. So you did May, yeah. So thank you so much, Ajit. Thank you, Chain Yoda, for joining us. It's been a pleasure to have you. It was great to discuss the future of crypto, the outlook for 2025, how the US political news and potential regulatory changes is a game changer, is often overused. AI, the big meme right now. AI is the big meme right now, but it's also a little bit real.
It's increasing amount of reality.
It's a little bit real.
So that's 2.1%.
So it's been a pleasure to have you with us today.
It's been really nice being here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Enjoyed it.